If you haven't seen the hands-on look of the sensing fabric by Keiichi Torimitsu, be sure to watch our previous video. Here I sat down with him to talk in depth about his technology and where his research will go from here, featuring silkworms in space, crossing the boundaries of engineering and biology, and some advice to young researchers out there aiming to tackle unexplored areas of research. So sit back and enjoy. Could you run me through the different styles that you have and what each one means?
Oh, okay. This is a kind of just first one is the thread, and then the fabric, and these thin fabric. So the differences between these because of the texture of the surface. After the treatment of the electrical conductivity applications, the steel fabric property does not change. So that's a kind of point of this kind of electrodes. And then in this case, that because of the very soft surface, it's good for the application of the attachment of the skin to measure the electrical activity of the muscles, or either the heartbeats, or either some brain waves.
So similar to how an ECG might work?
Yeah, that's right, ECG or whatever. You have to attach with the surface with using adhesive stuff, or either you have to use your, like, let's say, underwear to fit into your body. So it is limited for the applications. But in case of the this one, those fabric are extendable. So that means the changing the electrical activity will be changed by extension of the fabric, or either the application of the weight to change electrical activities. So that means you don't have to attach with these electrodes into your skin. Let's say you can use this fabric into sweater, or either the jackets, or either the trousers. Not only for that, but also the chairs and beds and something like that.
So because of the stretchiness, it's able to be used in a wider variety of applications. So we have silk here and washi. Washi is Japanese paper.
That's right.
Right. Why do you need to use silk and washi?
Actually, this electrode started with the silk because of the biocompatibility. We use those silk fibers into the Medicare, but the cost and also the silk is a very sensitive fabric. In case of the washi, is also based on the natural fibers, but because of the coming from the plants, it's much more stronger than the silk. So if you, in case of the using those materials into the long-lasting stuff, we need to use the washi rather than silk. So the one point is the price costs, and the other point is the usability.
Right.
Of course, you can imagine that the usage of the other fabrics like polyester, or either those kind of polymer stuff, but because of the environmental effect of is nowadays very important, especially for after usage we throw it away, or either we burn up. In the cases that natural fabric is much more better than those kind of artificial stuff. When I think about my history of my research, is based on electrical measurements, electrical properties in biological electrical properties. I would say, because starting from the mung beans, of course, the plants has electrical activity also, and then try to use those electrical properties to control their growth of those plants. Issues that I took is the brain research. And when you think about brain and plants might be different, but it's the same because of the cell point of view. And those cell-based electrical properties are slightly different, but understanding ionic regulation stuff is not so much difference. When we are doing those kind of research, not only for the brain but also the plants, is also the missing stuff is the how we measure the electrical activities. Of course, we can use those metal electrodes to detect the electrical activities, but as you can imagine, metal is a little bit different from the organs. So there is a considerable effects onto those metal, onto the biological stuff. So we need to escape. How we need to escape from the those metal, using metal for the electrical activity measurements. That's a kind of starting point to coming to those fabric electrodes with using electrical conductivity polymers. When you think about the biocompatibility of those materials, is very good compared to the metal stuff. So we use those fabric electrodes rather than metal electrodes. That's a kind of turning point of my research.
How was your experience with innovation? What was your challenge at the time, and how did you really try and make something from zero almost?
I think this system is based on the personal rather than organization stuff. So that means like a personal investment because of the based on technology. So especially for like when we have to face on to producing some intellectual properties, and those are the coming back from the organization to person because of the Japanese Baido's law or something. So that helps a lot because of the normally we have to belong to when we belong to the organizations. Organization hold those kind of IP stuff, but especially after graduate this program, we can have it on property to make some profits in the future by ourselves. That means comes to the startup systems, or either we can make a startup companies by using this kind of IP stuff or other stuff. So that means it was very helpful, and not only for that, but also the costs, especially for the research of grants, is very important to help idea to make it products. My background is the engineering, especially for the instrumentation engineering. So normally think about those engineering stuff is the focusing on the metal or either the artificial stuff rather than biological stuff. But I started with those plant cells in introducing those instrumentation technique into those kind of plants. I'm not coming from the biological person, so there's many conflicts about biological people to me because of I'm too much engineering stuff. It's very difficult for me to persuade those original biological people to how my approach is very important. My point is a little bit different from the biology, because in the engineering point of view, even though they are arguing the same issues, the analytical point is different. So that brings you to have a new idea. At the time, I just realized that to bring a different kind of viewpoint is very important for developing a new field. Normally, when you focusing in fabric material, people, they don't think about electrical activity could be possible in the fabric. And electrical people thinks about the fabric is not a good idea to use for the electric conductivity transfer. I think to bring your idea in your background to a new field is very important to produce a new kind of field.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent message for anyone out there who's thinking about trying something new. Bring what you know into your new field of research, and who knows?
Yeah, but the problem is, there's no answer. So the answer means, normally if you want to answer your question, normally answer is already there.
Right.
But in this kind of a new field and new approaches, there's no answer. So you have to find the answer. So you have to believe what you're doing. That's very tough, normally. But after you engage the solutions, you might have a very good new technology and new findings. That's kind of a joy in that case.
Yeah, and it's also not just researchers. That can be applied to anything, really. Entrepreneurs could take that in, and who knows what kind of startups could be formed in the next 5 years following that same message.
Yeah, but believeness is very important, but believeness is very difficult.
Well, Torimitsu-san, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being
much.
here, and I hope to come back again and see how all this thread technology is advancing in the next few years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more from our innovators.